Todd McFarlane. Everybody 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 Todd McFarlane here.
All right, I'll be honest with you guys. This list was a little bit easier for me to put together because I'm not the biggest Todd McFarlane fan. And I know that that is shocking to a lot of people, but I'm not. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Todd McFarlane as a business person, as an entrepreneur, as an innovator, as an ambassador for comics. But when it comes to artwork, I am not the biggest fan of his work. But that did not stop me from creating this video in which I'm going to show you some really awesome books that I have in my collection that are associated with Todd McFarlane. The thing that I will ask you to do is to keep an open mind as you watch this video and to leave some comments behind to highlight those books that you think are fantastic covers that I might be missing from this video. And I will tell you, not every book that I'm going to show you in this video is a great cover. They are comics, however, that have some significance that is associated with Todd McFarlane, a man that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. With that said, let's get to the video. So the very first book that I want to show you, I think, is a really cool one because it has a little bit of historical significance to it. This is Infinity issue number 13. Now, why is this book important? It's important because this book contains the first published artwork done by Todd McFarlane at DC. He did not do the cover. He did not even do the interior pages. There is a pinup from him in this issue right here, and I was able to find several copies of this book in the 100K collection. Now, the other cool book that I want to show you that is associated with that one is this one right here. This is Infinity Inc. issue number 14. This book is important because Todd McFarlane actually did the cover of this. So he did a pinup in issue 13, issue 14. We get his first cover art at DC, and I was able to find several copies of this in the 100K collection. This guy looks a lot like various characters that we've seen from Marvel over the last a couple of years, like the Wraith, and also one other X-Men related character that escapes my memory at the moment. This next book that I want to show you, I think, is a really cool book. It is a title that I have enjoyed reading. I have not read in a long time, but I've enjoyed reading it historically. This is Killadelphia from Rodney Barnes. Now, you might wonder, why am I showing this book? I'm showing this book because Todd McFarlane actually did the cover of this. I am a huge fan of vampires. And this is a vampire comic, again, illustrated by Todd McFarlane. It is not often that Todd McFarlane actually does covers outside of the ones that he is associated with, like books from Image. But he did this one right here, Killadelphia. I think it is a fantastic cover. I have 2 copies of that one and very pleased to have that in the collection. It is impossible to do a video about Todd McFarlane and not include this book right here. This is Spawn issue number 1, a book that came out when I was at the center of me collecting comics back in the 90s. This book dropped. I was indeed a huge fan of Image Comics and all the guys that were associated with it. And of course, I picked up multiple copies of Spawn issue number 1 back in the day, especially because his name is Al Simmons, Regie Simmons. You can't go wrong with that one. Really awesome book, printed incredibly widely. But again, a really awesome book to have in the collection. This next book is one that I had to include because I think it is just a fantastic cover that was done by Todd McFarlane. This right here is Batman issue number 423. Just a great cover, and I think the story behind this one is that Todd was behind on a deadline to do the cover, and what he decided to do to catch up was to basically show Batman on the cover and just show a whole lot of cape. Not a lot of detail, just a whole lot of cape. And I think that story behind this is really cool. But there's something about the orangish red tone, the yellows mixed with the blacks and the blues that really just speaks to me about this cover. I think it is incredibly well done. Todd McFarlane actually did several Batman covers that have this same kind of look, the orangish reddish look, but this by far, in my opinion, issue 423 is the best of those covers that he actually did. The next book that I'll show you is honestly probably one of my favorite Spawn covers ever. The first time that I saw this book, I set it aside because I just thought that the cover was just amazing. This is Spawn issue number 77. And I think that this book in and of itself has some significance, but this cover really speaks to me. And it has some of those, golden orange tones to it. But this is a Greg Capullo Todd McFarlane cover that I think is just incredibly well done. I have a couple of copies of this in the collection, and there's just something about that just speaks to me. All the muscle mixed with the softness, if you will, of the feathers from the wings. There's something about that. Todd McFarlane had a long run by and large on Amazing Spider-Man. And I am a huge Amazing Spider-Man fan. I have every single Amazing Spider-Man book that has come out, primarily cover A's. But Todd had a long time on the title. I'll be honest, there's not a lot of his covers for Amazing Spider-Man that I really enjoy, but there are a couple that I wanted to pull out and show you, and that's what I want to do right now. This first one is cool because it is an homage to Action Comics #1, and it's also a cool cover in and of itself. This is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 306, and again, I have several copies of this book in the 100K collection, but this is one of the Todd McFarlane ASM covers that I honestly do like, so I wanted to make sure that I showed that. It's a little bit of an iconic cover because, again, it goes back to the first Superman book there, or Action Comics 1. So the next one that I will show you is, I think it's a cool cover. It's probably one of the better Amazing Spider-Man covers that Todd McFarlane actually did, in my opinion. It also features one of my favorite villains, if you will, for Spider-Man. This is Amazing Spider-Man issue 313 featuring the Lizard. And again, just a striking cover. 313 is also the area code for my hometown, Detroit, Michigan. So, something special about this one, but a really cool ASM cover. So I have two more books that I will show you. These books are probably, maybe they will be a surprise. Maybe it will be a surprise what I choose to show versus not show, because Todd does have a lot of covers out there, but the last two that I'll show you are actually slab books, two books that I love having in the collection. And again, you can't pick every cover to include in a video like this, so you have to be a little picky. This one, Amazing Spider-Man issue number 298, and this is the first Todd McFarlane Spider-Man. Again, some historical significance to this. It also happens to be a really cool cover, in my opinion. This is a cool cover showing Spider-Man in the black costume, squaring off against Chance, the villain, on a white background. It is a striking cover. This one happened to come back at a 9.6, which I cannot be mad about, but it is a cool cover in my mind. And then the very last book that I'll show you is, again, a book that you may have seen recently in a video. If you watch a lot of my videos, this is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 300. This is a book that I had triple signed. Todd McFarlane, the writer, David, and also by Stan Lee, who signed right down there. I literally stood across the table from Stan Lee as he signed this book. This is just a really cool book in my mind to have in the collection. And as I mentioned, there's a lot of other books out there that could have been included that were not included. There is one specific book that I would love to have shown in this video, but I do not have it in the collection. I actually sold it a couple of years ago. and my goal was to get a 9.8, and I still, after 3 years, have not purchased a 9.8 of this book, and at some point I am going to fix that. But again, I definitely want to encourage those of you out there that are fans of Todd McFarlane's artwork to sound off in the comment section. Let me know what books you think should have been included on my list that I may have missed, or I maybe don't fully appreciate the way that you do. All right, with that said, I'm going to wrap this video up. I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch. I hope that you enjoyed this installment. And certainly if you did, I want to encourage you to hit the thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do that now. Tap the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and that way you won't miss out on any of the content that comes out from my channel. If you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.